Alright, so let's look at a few more examples here. I'll zoom in a little bit. I realize it's a little blurry, but we should still be able to read these just fine. Alright, so in reading this micrometer, remember that this goes from 0 inches all the way to 1 inch would be over here. Somewhere over there in that region. So this is, to give you an idea, that's just to give you an idea of how big of a distance this micrometer can measure. So this right here, our first measurement is going to be, you can see the 6. So our first measurement is going to be that we can see the 6. Then we can see that we're past at least one of the marks. And the next mark, it's kind of hard to tell if we're past it already or not. But you can see, looking at the next scale, actually, we're at 0, 1, 2. We've just slightly started turning the thimble on the next revolution. So we would say that we're just slightly past the next mark. So I would say instead of 0.025, I would say 0.050 for that next mark, for that next measurement. So we've gone 2 measurements, or we've gone 2 lines past the 6. And then I'll read off what this measurement is here, and this is a 2. So 0.002. It always needs to end in the thousandths place when you go around this one. And this distance, if you're wondering about how large the numbers get here, this is a 24. Because if we go all the way up to 25, we've gone up 25 thousandths, and we would go up, we would actually have this number being slightly larger. So in any case, adding these numbers together, we get 0.652. That's what this measurement would end up reading. Alright, on this one, it's hard to tell if we've passed the 8 or not, because we started to reveal the 8. Looking down here, it kind of doesn't look like we've passed the 8. And we should be halfway through an interval. The 12 mark, well, 12 and a half technically, is halfway through the interval between the two of them. I would say we're not past the 8 here. So I would say the last number we're past is the 7. And we've gone 1, 2, 3... 3 marks past that, so that will be 0.075. It's 3/4. But again, having the decimal place over there. And then I'll just read off this last measurement. This is a 9 right here, because this is a 10. This is an 8, 7, 6, 5. You can see the 5 down here. This is the 9. That's the one we're looking at, 0.009. So adding all these together, we get a 4, an 8, and a 7. We got 0.784 is that measurement. Alright, let's look at this one. Well, we're definitely past the 4. So I'll go ahead and say 0.4. And trying to figure out if we're to the next, if we're just past the next mark or where we are. Well, you can see this is at the 0, so this actually says we should be exactly on one of the marks. And the only mark it makes sense to be exactly on here would be the 0.025. It's the first one after our 4. And then for this reading, for our thimble reading, would be 0. So we get 0.425 exactly there. This one looks like looks like there were some issues. We're being able to see through the thimble. We shouldn't be able to see the 3 or the 4 there. All right, this one looks like it should be an exact measurement as well, because on the thimble, well, I'm jumping ahead. We should have 0.2. But as far as the next measurement, it looks like we should be exactly on not the 0.025, but the 0.050. And then we have a 0 for that last measurement. So we get 0.25 is what that one measures as. Alright, a full rotation around this is 25 thousandths of an inch, so this is actually the 24 mark. Sorry, I'm jumping around a little bit on these. I should definitely keep them in order. So we're starting off with 0.5, because that's the mark we're past here. Looking to see, we could be at the second mark or just before it. We're at a 24, which is almost exactly lined up, but it's not quite yet to that mark. So I'm going to say the next mark that we're past is the 0.025, and then there's a 0.024, that's this one here. Another way of saying this is we're at the 5.5 or 0.55. The 0.55 would be if this was exactly lined up. We're just a tiny bit backed off of the 0.55. We end up with a 0.549. Just 1/1000th of an inch less than 0.55. All right, on this one, it looks like we start off with 0.0. We're 1, 2, 3 those 3 marks are clearly visible, so I'm going to 0.75, and it looks like we should be at 15, 16, 17. This mark here is 17, so we'll go 0.017. Add these up, we get a 2 here, and we get 9 here, so we go 0.092 is what we end up with on this one.